Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Rob Dube. Rob is the co-CEO and co-founder at imageOne. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Rob Dube. Rob,
Thank,
welcome.
thank you for having me. I'm so grateful to you, Siddique. It means the world to me to be able to spend time with you today. And I'm assuming you're coming to me live from your Atlanta office or home or whatnot.
Yes, my world headquarters of my little space.
Well,
Rob,
thank you for having me.
I appreciate that very much. Let me start with this, Rob. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to start imageOne?
Well, it all actually started when I was in ninth grade, and my best friend Joel Perlman and I started selling lollipops. They were called blow pop lollipops. They have gum in the middle, and we started selling those out of our locker at lunchtime. We would buy them for a nickel, and we would resell them for a quarter. And that was the spark that inspired us both to want to be entrepreneurs for the rest of our life. And so through high school and college, we kept up our entrepreneurial businesses. And then once you know it, when we were graduating from college with no prospects for a job, we felt like maybe the best thing to do would be to start a business of our own. And that's exactly what we did 30 years ago this year.
30 years ago, you're stuck with the same person?
I stuck with the same person. He's my best friend, and I love him dearly.
Wonderful, wonderful. That means you really know how to build a relationship and keep them and care, and they like to work with you. That's something on that line, is that right?
That is so right. I mean, we said at the outset that the most important thing in our business partnership would actually be our friendship. That would be the first priority. So whenever anything else was getting in the way, because as you know, there's a lot of challenging, discussions and decisions that you have to have when it comes to business, we would always make sure our friendship was first.
Friendship first. So let's talk about, are you ready to answer some tough questions? Because this is everybody all over the world need to learn this one, especially in different challenging time with these days. And this friendship, keeping a friendship is the key. What are the top 3 mistakes to avoid when it's come to connecting culture and actually keeping up your words and growing your company with care, authenticity, and keeping the friendship at large?
Okay, well, I think there's a lot there. So let me start first let's just address the partnership and the friendship. First of all, it's a lot of work, and you can never let down from that work. It's like a marriage, there's
Okay.
very similar.
I'm sorry to interrupt. My question is, what are the top 3 mistakes to avoid?
Yeah, well, not working on it would be the first mistake that you would want to avoid when you have a partnership. Always work on your partnership and make sure that you are. The second mistake that you would want to avoid is not listening and putting your ego first. I think it's really important actually to listen with an open heart and an open mind, and without judgment and without trying to solve it or counter what your argument may be. And I think that means your partner will listen and know that you are open to that. They'll feel your energy. So that's the next thing. And the last thing is, don't let money get in the way. Money could be very complicated, and so that's a mistake I think that many make is they let maybe sometimes their greed or what they believe they are going after in terms of the financial piece to it get in the way of the relationship.
So I'm sure because you learned to crack the code on this, making it right, working with stuck with the same person for 30 years, and you still love it. So I'm sure there was something which kind of caused you to focus on that side. What's your greatest failure in keeping and maintaining relationships at the speed you want it, at the level you wanted it, and failure? And what did you learn from it, and how did you recover from that?
My biggest failure with my relationship with my partner?
With anybody.
With anybody. Well, I think being judgmental is probably one of the number one failures that I would have experienced and would continue to experience. I have my own set of beliefs and values, and sometimes in my mind, I could find myself being judgmental around those things if I'm working closely with somebody, or maybe even not so closely. And so I want to check myself on a daily basis and ensure that if I am doing that, that I could shift my mindset and open my mind and my heart, as I mentioned before, without judgment, listen without judgment, because everybody's coming from their place. And I need to be mindful of that.
Wonderful, wonderful. How if someone in your core team is that person, however, it may not be you, everyone has to be on that mindset then.
So your question is around everybody having a similar mindset on our team?
Yeah.
The best that we could do around that is try to teach the idea of being able to be fully present with your team members, with your customers, your stakeholders within the business, being open to their point of view and where they're coming from. And then it's up to each and every one of us to take that and work on it. I mean, I think it's a lifetime practice for most of us.
Yeah, lifetime practice for most of us. In fact, for all of us, Rob, let's switch the side. Let's talk about your secrets of success. So you build an amazing company with your partner. What are the top 3 secrets of your success at imageOne?
Well, the first is focusing on people before profit. And, our purpose at imageOne is to deliver genuine care that consistently drives extraordinary energy, actions, and experiences to everyone, every day, every time. And so our company is focused on lifting people up versus dragging them down, and providing them with this genuine care, this experience where they can look back after a long career of doing whatever it is that they're doing and say, boy, I'm glad my paths crossed with imageOne, and it was worth it. It was an amazing experience to work at that place. And so that is our number one. And I think that, well ahead of 2 and 3, our focus on delivering the X, this extraordinary experience to our customers, is what that was sort of ingrained in us from day one. I remember us even at the expense of profit saying, we will do whatever it takes to make sure our customer is happy. We will not ask them questions about, if they need to have a product return or they have an issue or a challenge. The only questions that we will ask them is to learn how we could be better, but we will take care of them immediately, and be easy, efficient, and reliable. That mantra has stayed true for us since the very beginning. And then the last thing that's important is identifying your core values as an organization and staying true to those core values. That's not an easy thing to do. A lot of companies nowadays, especially over the last, however many years, have said values are really important. They define them. Sometimes they even put them up on their walls in their offices, when, of course, we could all be in our offices, but they don't truly live by them. And I do think that it's a daily practice to check in with your values and help make sure that they're guiding you in the right direction for the decisions that you need to make as an organization and amongst each other.
Wonderful. That's amazing. Rob, you're not as good as you think. You are better. You're really changing the world for a positive way. However, you have a lot of work to do because there are so many issues all over.
There are a lot of issues all over. It's so true. But, sometimes I can take the very simple track because the issues are complex, but our ability to have deep respect and openness for each other will help us to better solve these issues. Unfortunately, what gets in our way is divisiveness, and we take our hard stands and we don't open ourselves up to middle ground. And unfortunately, we do have to find middle ground. We are living on this planet together, and the only way we're going to get anywhere is through middle ground.
Yeah, definitely middle ground. So, Rob, I have a few lightning round questions. Very
Okay,
quick question, quick answer. Are you ready?
sure.
What's the most impactful book you have read, and what did you learn from it?
Well, one of the most impactful books I've ever read is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl is a Holocaust survivor. And what I learned from that, and one of the things that sticks out, are the stories that he tells about standing in line with his fellow people, not knowing which direction that line is going to take him. One might be actually to his death. And as he walks in this line and sees his family members, his relatives, his friends, his loved ones, and people he doesn't even know, and realizing that they might be going in a direction where they're about to lose their life, and he might be going in a direction where he doesn't. And really, at that point, being able to find meaning in life in that line is remarkable. And so that book is been very impactful for me in my life.
Wonderful. Rob, how young are you?
I'm 51.
You are not 51. You are 18 with the 33 years experience.
Indeed I am. Indeed I am. And every day is a new learning. Every day is is a time to wake up and wonder and be curious about our world, not just about business, about the people around us, about the beauty around us. Every moment is a time to do that. And so, yes, thank you. 33 years experience and counting.
Yeah, and counting. Yeah. So, Rob, what you want to do when you grow up?
Well, I hope that I'm able to provide a nugget or two to be useful in somebody's life. And if I can continue to do that in my life, each and every day, each and every moment, I think as I continue to grow up, I hope that fulfills some purpose for my time on this earth.
Wonderful. The people who are watching this now, how they can support you?
Well, there's a few ways. You can learn about our company and our unique culture at imageoneway.com. That's imageoneway.com. And also you can learn about a book I wrote called Do Nothing, and you can find that at donnothingbook.com.
Do nothing?
Do nothing.
Okay, good. So do nothing. If you like to do nothing in your life, you better read the book by Rob. Do nothing.
It'll be the most rewarding leadership challenge you ever take. I promise.
Yes, I know. Do nothing. You have to do everything, delegate everything, and empower them so much. I get away without even reading the book. So there's so much.
Well, you might be surprised. That is actually not part of it. So you might be surprised when you read
Okay.
it.
So I better read it and you read it too. So let's exchange the notes after reading 2 copies. Okay.
You got it. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it. I
Thank
like
you.
to ask this question to almost every guest. And here's my question. It's about your experience on today's show. What would you say about your today's guest experience on Growth Hacking Secret Show?
Well, Siddique, you are a thoughtful interviewer with wonderful questions and a great sense of humor. And so I learned that from you, from your questions and your curiosity. It's a unique skill in this world.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Really appreciate it. What would you say as a final word?
Be in the moment, everyone. Appreciate this moment.
Yeah. Be in the moment. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.